a Sorcerer, oh, and a low head, fucking with the old ones, you gon' get fucked up.
Yo, DragooX is back and welcome to another video here on my channel, guys. And today I want to show you my new Sorcerer build that I used in the last gameplay videos, and a lot of people ask for it. I extra rated for the patch for the console release of the DLC because this build got a huge buff, and today I want to showcase it. Another thing, guys, you know, my last commentary was over a year ago, so it's a bit strange for me to start with commentaries again. And yeah, also I think a lot of people of you know that I'm not an English person, so my English is not perfect, but I think it's enough. And if you hear some mistakes, I don't care. And yeah, guys, now we start with the build, and first I show you the stats of this build, and here are the completely unbuffed stats. And yeah, I'm using 64 points into health because we need a high health pool. I'm playing the damage shield now, and it scales also with health, and it gives us now a burst heal, and this is insane. That makes this build a lot tankier than you guys saw in the last gameplay videos. But I will definitely upload more gameplay in the next days, in the next weeks. I enjoy this build a lot, and in the moment I would say this is my favorite class. The reason for this is easy, because you can play the Sorcerer with different abilities. You can use Crystal Weapon, you can use frags, you can use different ultimates. And this is a bit something that I like, because it's not only the same build over and over. You can switch it a bit, and this makes a lot of fun for me. I'm using here the Sorcerer buff food. You can also use the purple version for more max health, stamina and magicka recovery. I'm using the Shadow Mundos, and I'm on Vampire stage 3. And yeah, my crit damage is 42%, and when I buff up with the Dark Deal, it's 52%. So this is our critical damage. In this build we stack a lot of weapon damage and crit damage, and we still have a decent amount of penetration. So this build is a good all-rounder, and it makes a lot of fun and hits so hard. I hit people. The highest crit that I hit was one guy, but he was super squishy, was a 20k crystal frag. But overall, the minimum crit frag is normally 10k, but I often hit like 15, 16k or 14k frags, and this makes a lot of fun. They get bursted so hard, and this build is so enjoyable, and it's so good. And now I show you the fully buffed stats by myself, and you guys can see we hit nearly 7k weapon damage. And yeah, guys, I'm still using Master Dual Wield, so we need around this weapon damage to get the same amount of buff like before. But here I have to say, and now I show you a screen, when I had the Templar in group and the continuous attack buff in 0, I hit 8.6k weapon damage. And there's even more possible when you have some support sets in a group or something. And then your Master Dual Wield is basically around 15 to 20, or maybe also when you have a lot of buffs, 25% stronger than before. You hit, instead of 1500 damage increase that you normally had last patch with the Master Dual Wield, you can hit over 2k, and this is insane when you have a group buff active, like they're using Rallying Cry, Powerful Assault or something, and you stack your weapon damage super high, then your Master Dual Wield melts the enemies. This is insane. But also for solo we still hit around 7k, so this is completely fine. Next I'm gonna show you the sets, and this is very important that I'm using here. And yeah, before I show you the sets, I show you quick the potions that I'm using. And here I'm going for sure with some detect pots that I have with me, but normally I'm using here this Immo pots that gives me knockback resistance, critical chance. I'm not using the camouflaged hunter anymore, so I have another skill slot for the shield, and magicka. We don't need stamina, I have a lot of regen, and we can dark deal for our stam. And the set that we use is also benefits that we don't have a high stam regen, because it gives us weapon damage when we lose stamina. You will see then. First I show you my Master Dual Wield, and here I'm going with a maces now. I tested a bit on the PTS. Yeah, I also played a bit on PC, on the PTS server only, and I tried a lot of things and optimized this build so hard and tried different CPs, trades and everything, and the best results I had with maces here. Axes, in my opinion, after the tests, I have to say axes are good. When you crit they are a bit stronger, but overall when you have non-crit hits, maces perform so much better. And so axes are only good when you have safe crits. Let's say you use mechanical accuracy, then you hit more damage with axes for sure. But when you don't have a super high crit chance, like I have here also a decent one, 42% buff, but when you don't have a super high crit chance or a safe crit like with a Nightblade, then I would use maces over axes for overall more damage, because the non-crit hits will benefit from it. And yeah, so axes with mechanical acuity, definitely more damage. It's a bit more, it's not that much, it's like a little bit, but it's definitely worth it when you play mechanical and you only go on the mechanical combo, or Nightblade when you want the safe crit out of the cloak, and overall Nightblade have a super high crit chance. Then axes can still be good, but also there you can use maces. Then I would say go with maces here in this build. Definitely we have 42% crit chance, then maces perform better. I'm going here for a non-hound one with the double dot poisons, and the second one is sharpened. If you want a bit more crit chance, you can use the second one here also in precise. That gives you a higher crit chance, 3.2%. Makes also your crit surge heal and overall your crit heals a bit more, a bit better, because you crit more. Okay. On backbar, I'm going with the ice stuff here of Wretched Vitality. I switched from Rallying Cry to Wretched simply because when you want to play with the shield, you need a lot of regen. The shield costs a lot, and with Rallying Cry it wasn't so easy to sustain it, and Wretched Vitality is overall perfect. Also the stamina recovery, like I said, with Wretched Vitality we don't need tripods anymore. It's enough when we dark deal and have this Wretched buff active, then we also can sustain our stam, and this is perfect for the other 5-piece set that I'm using here in this build. But first, yeah, we wait with the best set to the end. First, the monster set. I'm going here now with 1-piece Slime Scroll for a bit more crit chance. This is something that you can switch. Let's say you use here precise mace, then you have the same crit chance when you would replace Slime Score, for example, for 1 piece of Rockstar if you want some sustain. I mean, it's not the best for sustainer, but just, yeah, idea. Nibene for some crit resistance. I'm not playing any crit resistance in this build. In my opinion, this high health with the shield stack is enough defense. I like to play super offensive with super much damage. You can play 1-piece Trainee for more max health, Barlog for more weapon damage. This is good for the Master Duel. Choose whatever you want. This is something that you can switch however you like it. You can also use 1-piece for more armor or something. Maybe for beginners it's easier to switch the mace to precise and use the Nibene, however it's called, set here for some crit resistance. Maybe this is for the beginners to be a bit more tanky, easier to play. You guys can see I'm playing well-footed. I play a lot of well-footed in this build. You will see the traits when I show it for sure, and every piece is with a tri-stat enchantment. The chest that I'm using here is also from Wretched Vitality and Heavy, and now I show you the next 5-piece set that I'm using here in this build, and this is Coral Riptide and the perfected version. When you don't have the perfected one, then I would also say use a precise mace. Yeah, use a precise one for a bit more crit chance. The non-perfected version is easier to get, but yeah, misses 1 crit chance buff. In my opinion, the Coral Riptide set is the best set for the Master Duel setup this patch, and it works so good. You guys can see it gives us 2 times critical chance, some weapon and spell damage, and the last bonus is 740 weapon and spell damage when we have it fully buffed. And this goes super easy, already on 60-50%. It's stronger than the most weapon damage sets that exist in this game, and 2 times critical chance is also perfect for Sorcerer for more crit heals and the crit hits overall. And this set is so good and makes so much fun to play. And yeah, it's a bit unique. Yeah, you have to think about it, that your damage gets higher when you lose them, so sometimes you have to spam your raining slashes. When you spam it, bam bam bam, they get every time stronger. And also when you dodge roll a lot, you get buffs from it. So basically you don't want to be on 100% stam. Only when you run away, for example, it's nice to have, but when you fight, you want to lose some stam, you want to do dodge rolls, you want to spam your raining slashes to lose stamina to get more damage out of it. I enjoy it a lot. For me, this is the best set right now, and it's so crazy. When your stam is low and your frags hit, they're melting the enemies. This is so much fun. Also, you can play with Overload. You guys saw it also in one of the last gameplay videos. I played with Overload, and this also works great with that set. But there I would use Crystal Weapon. But the skills I show you later. The next armor piece here is the belt, a light Wretched Vitality belt. Also well-fitted. Then I have the hands here of Coral Riptide, the legs and the shoes. 1-piece Divine for 1% more crit damage from the Shadow Mundus. You can also play with the Lava Mundus if you don't want to play this build so much on crit. That also works, but the best results for healing and damage is the Shadow Mundus. Yeah, Jewelry, 3 times infused now, no Bloodthirsty anymore. Master Dual Wield, the damage only scales with your weapon damage in your stats. So when you use Bloodthirsty, your Master Dual Wield is not buffed by this 350 Bloodthirsty buff. It's not buffing the damage of the Master Dual Wield. So infused is better here. The mythic that I'm using here in this build is Death Dealer, and yeah, with this set, with this mythic, we hit around 37k max health for our shield and for our shield heal, and we have 21k magicka and stam. This is perfectly fine for our sustain. Okay guys, these are the stats, the gear that I'm using, and now I show you the skills. Let's take a quick look onto the skills. I'm using here the Curse, yeah, for sure the Curse, Streak, Critical Surge on front bar. This is something that you can switch, but I show it to you when I'm on the back bar. Crystal Frags, also here you can play Crystal Weapon, whatever you like more. When you want to play with Overload, in my opinion, Crystal Weapon works better. Rending Slashes, and I have here right now on the Dual Wield Ultimate, you can also play the Dawnbreaker, you can play Overload on front bar, do whatever you want. The most of the time I played Dawnbreaker, but Dual Wield Ultimate got also buff this patch. We apply the bleeding status effect with every hit. So it's another dot that ticks on all enemies together, and this is why I play currently the Dual Wield Ultimate. And also the heal when you play solo is definitely nice to have. It makes you go more offensive after you drop your ultimate because it heals you against the pressure that you get. Backbar, I have at the moment Overload here, but most of the time I use Temporal Guard. I was testing a bit around with Overload. You can play it on backbar still. Like I said, with Crystal Frags, I'm not using it so often. That's why I mainly use Temporal Guard on backbar for a bit damage reduction. In a group setup, you can also put a Negate on. Yeah? Whatever you like, you can switch this. Maybe when you play in a group, you also say, I'll play heal stuff and then put the healing ultimate on backbar. This also works to support your teammates. Now to the skills. I'm using here for sure the Hurricane, the Hardened Ward, Restoring Vigor, the Elemental skill, and Dark Deal. These are the skills that I'm using on this build most time. You can switch it a bit, like I said. Let's say you don't need the pen from that skill, someone in your group is using it, or yeah, you just don't want it, then you can put the Crit Surge on your back bar and use on your front bar, for example, Splintering Whirling Blades. Great for AoE damage. With a Dawnbreaker together you have some AoE burst. Or you say you use the Bound Ornaments for a bit more max sustain and also another damage skill that can deal some decent damage. It's not hitting bad, and it helps you a bit with Night Blades because the hits, when you shoot it and the Night Blade cloaks, you detect them with the blades because it's direct damage and it detects them in their cloak. Yeah, for sure they have to cloak. You have to activate the skill, and when they cloak in this moment you can shoot. You can't shoot it when they are in cloak already. But I think you guys know that. Okay, yeah, but mainly I play like this with the skill setup, and it works very good. Like I said in the group, I switch sometimes to Whirling Blades. Okay, champion points. We start with the blue ones, and here I'm using Fighting Finesse for more critical damage and healing, Focused Mending for our single target heals, Mastered Arms for more direct damage, and when I play with the Dual Wield Ultimate, I'm using Deadly Aim. Yeah, the Dual Wield Ultimate hits AoE wise. Yeah, it goes AoE wise. You put a dot on all of them, but the dot damage counts as single target damage, so you increase it with Deadly Aim. Otherwise, when you play with Dawnbreaker or you want more weapon damage overall, you can use Untamed Aggression. Untamed Aggression is basically the best because it helps you also with your Master Dual Wield. But I tested it. Deadly Aim, the 6% is still more also for the Master Dual Wield than Untamed Aggression. So when you play with the Dual Wield Ultimate, go with Deadly Aim. Recipes, I'm using here Fortified, Pain's Refuge, Bastion for the shields, and also against shields, a lot of Arcanists, and Celerity. Okay guys, this is basically the build that I play at the moment, and it makes a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot, it's so good. At the moment for me, this is the class that I enjoy the most. I know Nightblade is in my opinion still better and it's also very strong, but I'm a bit against Knight Blades at the moment, because this class, I have to say it, I also played it a lot and had some crazy clips with it, but it's a carry class in my opinion right now. It's boring to play offensive wise, defense wise it's cool with the cloak and everything, but also too strong. In my opinion they have to nerf the cloak, make it like the streak cost increase. Yeah, but Nightblade, there are too many Nightblades right now and I don't enjoy this offensive one with just like spamming one damage skill. You mainly use concealed weapons, backbow and the ultimate. This is and power extraction to buff up, but it's so boring, so simple to play offensive wise. Literally every noob can deal damage with it, and this is the thing that I don't like on Nightblade. That's why I'm currently not playing it. I know it's the strongest class in my opinion right now, but this Sorcerer build also performs very well and it got buffed and it makes so much more fun to play and so much more skillful in my opinion. And like I said, you can switch the skills a bit, you can optimize it for yourself however you like it more, and this is why I enjoy this build a lot and it's so good. And if you guys have questions to this build, feel free to ask me in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope I make it good for the first commentary after 1 year, and we see us in the next video. Have a nice day and bye bye.